how does somebody become a walk-on at the level that you walked on and earned a scholarship?
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? I mean, you're talking about there are a lot of people who want to play at the level you play at. Like, take me through that journey.
So I was actually a preferred walk-on. So like a normal walk-on is someone usually that like kind of just tries out when they get to the school. So I was a preferred walk-on, so it was a slightly different.
Yeah.
But
But now
basically,
you're one of the stars of the team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
it's
kind of
quantum
crazy.
leap.
It's kind of crazy, but
yeah.
yeah, no. So basically, I kind of just sent my film to coaches, or really my mom. I've mentioned this before doing other interviews, but my mom, she ran my Twitter, my email. Like senior year of high school, she sent like thousands of emails to different coaches. And so one day there was a connection with Coach Wetzel and Coach Absick. That was my high school head coach. So that's kind of how that connection started. So he saw I had like a big playoff game.
Give your high school a shout out.
Shout out CPHS. But yeah, no. That's kind of how that started. And then after that, we just really started building a connection. And then I talked with Coach Aranda, and then that's kind of when they were like, yeah, we're going to offer you a preferred walk-on spot. And so that's when I was going to come here, coming into college. I was going to be on the team, everything, but I just didn't have a scholarship. So I knew I was going to have to just work hard in order to get that. So that's kind of how it went for
the foot has not been taken off the gas.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
Since you've earned the scholarship. Your play continues to get better and better. What about you has enabled you to find that next gear?
Kind of like I was saying before, my mom's a big reason as to like kind of why I do this. Like, I really wouldn't be in the position I am in today without her. Like, she's taught me so much, how to persevere, things like that, how to work hard, like what it takes to be a successful person with whatever you're doing. So she's really the main reason why I'm in this position. So kind of with being a walk-on, I still keep that same just mindset of like I'm still a walk-on. That's kind of how I kind of view myself. Like I'm still a walk-on. I got to keep working, got to keep going, and that really just kind of keeps, like you said, the foot on the pedal and just keeps me going and just taking the next steps. And then really just like as I've just started playing more in general, the game has just kind of slowed down like a whole lot more, and like I'm just seeing things more clearly. The defense is slowing down. Like everything's just slowing down. Since just getting more and more experience over time. So,
what is something in your life, like off the field, that has taken you to the next level? Like, has there been something difficult or positive that you point back now and look at your body of work and say, "Wow, that was a moment where I turned the corner"?
I don't think there's a specific moment. I would just kind of say, just a culmination of just the constant grind. I think that's kind of what has got me into this position today, honestly. Just going at it every single day. Whenever I can get extra work in with, let's say it's a QB, doing that, getting working on my own, going back home, working with my trainer back home. Shout out D-Lou, but he's like that. He was on to me about that, not shouting him out. So he's going to hear this. Shout out D-Lou, man. But, I think it's just the constant grind has kind of got me here, honestly.
Yeah, D-Lou's done a really good job.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So we got to give him props.
Sure.
You run, you could catch the ball down the field, but one of the things that's jumped out about me with your career and your ability is yards after the catch. And, catching the ball in traffic and then taking it down the field. What's enabled you to do that? Because yards after contact, a lot of people – contact, that's it. There are no more yards.
For sure.
How does somebody become elite at that?
So kind of going into it, whenever I catch the ball, my mindset is always I can never just be tackled by one person. If I get tackled by one person, then that's bad. I should never get tackled by just one person. And then that honestly goes back to like when I first started playing football. So I first started playing football when I was 5 years old. I was actually a lineman when I first started. Funny enough, I played, I think, guard or something like that. And then that next year, I switched over to running back, and then that's kind of like when it just kind of took over from there. I started doing running back training with my coach, Coach D, and just kind of going from there. And so kind of like I was a running back basically my whole life, and so like yards after catch was always like a normal thing for me. Never getting tackled by the first person, and then just kind of ball carrier vision. Like I said, just really just instilled just from playing running back all those years up until really ninth grade. That's when I made the switch to receiver. So That's really where that comes from, honestly. Yeah, just playing running back, because running back, you got to have vision to make different cuts, things like that. And then kind of like when I was younger, I was always known for like running hard, things like that, and always just picking my knees up, things like that. So I kind of, whenever I have the ball in my hand, it's kind of funny because I always kind of like think back to like those moments of when I was younger, like my mom and dad cheering me on, just running hard, things like that. So.
You run angry, but you're a nice guy.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For sure.
What is that like when you shift onto the field? You know, like is there a switch that flips in you that switches into this guy who's going to dominate on the gridiron as opposed to the guy who's engaging with people off the field?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would say I don't even know what it is, to be honest. I've even asked, like, my roommate Jonah about it. I'm like, hey, so, like, whenever we're playing football.
Jonah Burton?
Yeah, Jonah Burton. So I'm like, whenever we're playing, do you notice, like, something changed in me? He's like, yeah, like, you just, like, lock in for – I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what it is. Like, I think whenever I just hit the field, like, my body just, like – it's like, okay, it's like, it's go time. Like, it's time to, like, lock in, be for real, and, like, just go dominate and just play the game for real. So I couldn't tell you what that switch is, but I just know it's a switch that flips whenever I set foot on the field for sure.
You guys have really made strides as a team, and there's just a lot of excitement around Baylor football right now. How have you made it through the darker times or the lower points as a team? Because I don't know that people quite understand the level of the faith that you guys have in one another and in that locker room. But now it's starting to show. Take us inside that locker room.
Sure, I would just honestly say that as like a team, we know we're a good team, and we kind of just realized that with the games that we played. Something I kind of did was like just kind of go around the locker room, kind of see people's faces, just talk to different people on the team, just kind of let them know like we're still in the mix, like we're still a good team. We have way too much ahead of us to just like quit. I said that with one of my pregame speeches, like we have way too much ahead of us to just quit, things like that. So I would say just the belief factor was the biggest thing, making sure people still believe, because if you don't believe, then that's when it's kind of hard to keep guys on the ship. People will just be hopping off the ship and just things like that. But the belief factor, honestly, has never changed, and it's finally starting to pay off now with these past 2 games, and we're going to make another one versus TCU for sure.
What's something that people don't know about being a leader?
Something that Coach Bate actually tells me all the time, and that being a leader, that it could get lonely. You can be looked at as like
because Dallas Baker, you're wide receiver coach. Okay, yeah.
You can be looked at as like different, or someone's like, oh, he's like doing too much, things like that. But when you're in this position, you know that's just what it is. Honestly, sometimes it's not fun, but I would say if we're winning games and things like that, and people see that, then they'll just start to respect you, kind of in the long run. Maybe even if they don't see it now, they'll look back and be like, okay, like I see what he's trying to do there, things like that. So I'll just say it can get lonely sometimes for sure.
How do you prepare for life after football when you're at a school like Baylor? I mean, clearly you got a lot going on, a lot of positive stuff. How do you – and now, you know, I know now all you're thinking about is TCU. But down the line in your life, what are some of the things that you want to tap into professionally outside of football?
I don't know. Honestly, I know I want to own like my own business one day. Kind of growing up, my parents, they own a whole bunch of different businesses, things like that. Things from like insurance businesses to barbecue businesses, a whole bunch of different businesses. So I was always like, yeah, you know, like I feel like being a business owner would be fun, and things like that. So I know someday I just want to own my own business. I don't know what that is at this moment, but yeah.
What'd you learn about that? I mean, not many people have parents that are running stuff, right? Like on a business level. Was there 1 or 2 things you pulled from that experience?
I would say that it can definitely be hard, but if you do it the right way, it pays off. It's like I said, it's hard work because it is your own business, so everything that you do is on you. But like I said, just as long as you keep your head down, you do the right things, and as long as you know the right people that can just kind of help you along the process, I think you'll be great, honestly.
You talked offline or before we started here about loving running routes. What is your favorite part about running routes? Like the receiving tree or your route tree? Like explain that.
My favorite part of it, I don't know. I think the whole process is kind of fun in itself. Like just being able to sprint, shut down, catch the ball. Like all of it's just it's like a satisfying feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's just all kind of a just a really good process and really really fun. Honestly,
I'm going to mention some big time names here, but you look around the conference, you got a guy like Tet McMillan and Noah Fafita, Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter. Yourself and Sawyer, you guys have a special relationship, right? Throwing and catching the football. How has that evolved off the field? And now we're starting to see it. People like me are starting to see it on the field. Take us through that.
So yeah, no, off the field, we've always been like real tight. We always go to FCA together. That's Fellowship of Christian Athletes. It's actually tonight, actually. So we always go to that together. We're always just talking to each other on or off the field, sorry, or really on and off the field, things like that.
Have to, yeah.
But yeah, no, the connection's always been there ever since he first got here. Like he's always been a stand-up guy, and he's always been nice to me. I've always been nice to him. We've always just been cool, you know what I'm saying? I go over to his crib every now and then. We watch a couple NBA games, things like that. He's come over. He actually likes my wings, surprisingly. So I like to cook a little bit every now and then. So if he asks, just tell him about the wings. He'll know what I'm talking about. But nah, he's real good people, and it just kind of like over the summer, things like that. He always hits me up, wants to throw. I'll go throw, of course, honestly. So I think just kind of that connection just has been just showing now, honestly, and it's been great.
What is the feeling like when you're in the huddle and it's a third down and you're looking at him in the eyes, or maybe you're at the line of scrimmage because of how fast you guys go and how fast a lot of teams go today. What is that feeling like when you know you've got a connection, like a next level connection with a teammate?
Oh, it's like no other, because like really like you start to communicate like with your eyes basically, so you can like look him in the eyes and just give him this look, knowing like, okay, I know what's going on. Like, okay, yeah, I know what's going on basically. So I think that's kind of the next step in communication, like kind of the bond basically, that you don't even have to say anything. You just know, just because the reps that we've done and just the time that we spent together, like you just know what it is at this point. So
how has your team come together? Like, some of the best teams of all time have come off tough years before, because it's sort of like the survivors, and this is being dramatic, and I'm not talking about last year's team, but it's like the survivors of a shipwreck. You have such gratitude and such connectivity. Only you know what that was like to go through that. How has your team come closer together this season as you've achieved success? When you look at last year, obviously you would have wanted to do better.
I would say, I think for the guys that just got here and then the guys that have been here, so really just the guys that have been here, just reminding and just letting people that haven't been here know like what 3-9 felt like, and just how it just sucked along the whole process, being a part of it. So I think that constant reminder of the guys that have been here, and just kind of letting people know like we don't want to be in that position, like we're not going to be in that position. So I think that's kind of that reminder kind of just keeps everyone up basically.
What's something about you people don't know or would be surprised to know?
I would say, I have 2 pet birds, Otis and Yoshi. So I would say, yeah, people probably don't know that, but yeah.
2 pet birds? What kind of birds?
They're parakeets. Yeah, like little small parakeets. So
do they talk to you?
He kind of mimics what I say. So like I'll like walk in and be like, what you doing? Like things like that.
And I'll say, what you doing?
Yeah, like basically just like that. So yeah, dog. Otis and Yoshi are awesome though. Those my guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Anything else about your journey at Baylor you'd like to share? Things. I think it's a special place, and it attracts guys like you. And it's just something that I've noticed when you talk about business and faith, it comes together. That's my phone. That's my bad. When we talk about business and faith, what is that like, I guess I'm asking, like that mission together, business of football, business of what you're going to do later in life, and then also, the business of faith.
I would say really before any like business, football, anything like that, it kind of starts with faith, especially for me. I really wouldn't be here without Jesus Christ, because he is my Lord and Savior. And I think just kind of the trials and tribulations that I've been through, kind of the ups and downs have just taught me so much along the journey, and that it just makes things like business and football, things like that, just makes it seem minuscule, honestly, and just knowing that I'm called for a higher purpose, things like that. So
after football, what's Josh Cameron doing?
After football, like I said, I want to own a business, and honestly, I say I don't want to get into coaching, but I think I might get into coaching eventually. I could see myself possibly being, I don't know, wide receiver coach or really personal trainer. I do want to get into personal training as well, so that's another option for me too, for sure.
How good has it felt for you to, and I'm sure you've had fulfillment and success in life, but like on the field this year, you know, you're a guy who I've watched and have rooted for. You don't even know. There's a lot of people that root for you just because they see you from afar. They see all this cool stuff your mom is putting out there. It's just like a real positive thing. So you're like, this is a guy I want to do well. And this year, you've exploded. What has that been like for you as a man to see all this hard work and that grind you talked about paying off now in front of millions of people, dude? I mean, that's who watches, millions.
I think it's honestly it is a pretty good feeling, pretty awesome feeling, honestly. But kind of through it all, I think I just kind of try to remain as humble as possible and not try to just explode through it all, because we do still have a whole bunch of games left. I still just want to keep on playing, things like that. So I think first and foremost, it's a great feeling. Just kind of just being patient through it all, through everything. Like I said, the ups and downs, and just seeing it finally pay off is a great feeling. But I just try to just remain calm and just kind of remember, like I said earlier, just keep that walk-on mindset, basically, and just keep on going.
When you, and this is the last question, what is something that you as a man have improved upon since coming to college? Whether it is, you know, your route running, whether it is your faith, whether it is the way you treat your friends, something you can look back on and say, man, I'm a lot different than I was when I got on campus in Waco.
I would say overall maturity level, specifically being able to like just forgive people who have done me wrong, things like that, or have just kind of looked me off, things like that. I think just forgiveness, I've just been able to kind of elevate that level of my life, just in general. So forgiveness overall, for sure.
Let's hope TCU is asking for forgiveness
for
after
sure.
Saturday.
For sure, yes sir.
Hey man,
yes,
thanks
sir.
a lot for coming
Appreciate
by, Josh.
you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Yes sir.
We are Rogue Media Sports.